How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to show you what it's like to drive the Cayenne Turbo GT from a first-person point of view. This is the world's fastest SUV with a Nürburgring time of just 7 minutes and 38 seconds. It's truly a supercar in SUV form. Under the hood is a 4-liter twin-turbocharged V8, making 631 horsepower and 626 pound-feet of torque. This is actually the exact same motor from the Lamborghini Urus, as well as the Cayenne Turbo, the Panamera, etc. Same ZF 8-speed transmission as well. 0 to 60 happens in a supercar 2.8 seconds, the quarter mile in 11.1, which is actually 0.2 of a second faster than the Lamborghini Urus. Now, one of the most unique and cool parts about this is the fact that it has 2 wings. So we've got a roof-mounted spoiler up here made of carbon fiber, and then we've got an active wing down here. This activates at 56 miles an hour. It pops upright like that to improve aerodynamics. Turbo GT badging right here. Really menacing rear diffuser for an SUV. It's also got a split titanium exhaust. Apparently, this exhaust saves 40 pounds of weight over the normal Cayenne Turbo. Really nice rear diffuser as well. Now, let's hop inside the rear seat environment of the Turbo GT. Alcantara absolutely everywhere. Turbo GT in the headliner. It is very spacious in here. Alcantara right up there. We also have dual zone climate control in the back. Nice Burmester upgraded audio system as well. Now, hopping into the front seat. Inside the Turbo GT now, and it is such a nice place to be. Just look at all the Alcantara all over the dash, the headliner. The seats hold you in place so well and are supportive and comfortable at the same time. I love these Alcantara wrapped handles in case you're getting too aggressive and your passenger needs to hold on for dear life. The steering wheel fits in your hand so nicely. Now let's go ahead and turn the Turbo GT on. Now, like all Porsches, the ignition is on the left side. Go ahead and fire that up. You'll notice you've got a center-mounted analog tachometer and then displays to the left and the right that are customizable. Now, if we go to the actual display here, we've got really nice graphics. It's easy to use, tons of customizability. Let's go into vehicle, drive mode. We're in normal mode right now. We've even got an off-road mode. Let's go to Sport Plus, open up that exhaust, chassis, Sport Plus, chassis height. Let's take it down to low. And sports exhaust system, obviously that's got to be on. If we go over to comfort, they've even got ambient lighting, poppy red, topaz blue, dark orange, lemon green. That's pretty cool. We'll leave it on lemon green. Different driving modes to choose from can also be selected on the steering wheel here. That is normal mode, sport, sport plus, individual customization. Then this is the sport response button. If you click that, you get 20 seconds of extra boost and responsiveness for the engine so that you can make passes on the freeway or on a racetrack. I like that we've got a little analog clock there as well. We also have the Sport Chrono package right here. The display here in the dash is awesome. Instead of having rows and rows of cluttered buttons, they're actually little screens. So if we turn the car off, those will disappear. Let's go ahead, turn this thing off, and you'll notice you just see the kind of ghosted outline of those buttons, but only the auto is lit up right now. Different controls here, volume knob for the passenger. This actually feels kind of cool. There's obviously volume controls here on the steering wheel as well. Really like those carbon fiber mirrors. Now, if we go down, check out the seat controls. Despite the fact that they are bucket seats, they also have a large amount of controls, which is really nice. It's not a manual seat. Nice audio system as well. All right, let's fire this thing up and take it for a spin. Behind the wheel of the Turbo GT now. And this thing is an absolute rocket ship. Now we're going to put it back into normal mode to just discuss the actual daily drivability of this absolute weapon. I'm surprised how comfortable it is. Now, I understand it's a full-fledged track beast that also needs to be practical and comfortable, but The suspension in normal mode is so much more supple, so much more comfortable than I ever would have imagined in their sportiest SUV. Having driven many of their sports cars, something like a GT3, and I mean this in a good way. I love the fact that it's extremely stiff, but it's stiff to the point of where if you wanted to drive it every day, you can, but you gotta be a little bit of a savage. Now, I know this is an SUV, not a two-door sports car, but the fact it can lap the Nürburgring as fast as it can, 7 minutes and 38 seconds, and feel this comfortable in normal mode is absolutely staggering. I almost don't understand how it's possible. It rides like any luxury SUV, yet on the other end of the spectrum, it's incredibly capable. So we'll shift it into sport mode. In sport mode and normal mode, it seems like the baffles are relatively closed of the exhaust. It's not overly loud. And then you put it into Sport Plus mode, you get that extra responsiveness, and the exhaust is absolutely crazy. Now, the Cayenne Turbo GT comes with an 8-speed automatic gearbox. We've got paddles mounted behind the steering wheel, and I have to say, when it's in Sport Plus mode, this shifts faster, particularly the downshifts, than any other automatic transmission I've experienced. The tuning is amazing. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. This thing pulls like an absolute freight train, yet is comfy at the same time. And the steering feel is absolutely sublime. This has the best steering feel of any SUV I have ever driven. It's actually next level how good the communication is. I mean, it's not jarring. You're not feeling a whole bunch of bumps and whatnot through the steering wheel, but you do have some feedback, more so than you're used to in an SUV. And it handles more like a super sedan than it does an SUV as well, thanks to that rear axle steering, the amazing Porsche suspension management, that multi-link rear suspension. It gives you so much confidence, and because you've got those 285s in the front and 315s in the back, there is so much grip. And the rear axle steering just makes it feel so much lighter on its feet than it actually is. It's a large vehicle, it's a big SUV. The fact that it can move this quickly, both in a straight line and around turns, is honestly somewhat of a feat of magic, but Porsche is known for that and more. The fact that it's faster around the track than a Urus and faster in the quarter mile, while it has 10 less horsepower and weighs 200 pounds more than the Urus, makes so little sense. And if it was any manufacturer other than Porsche, I think honestly that they were lying about the figures. But in this case, it is the truth. They did set a record, and it's absolutely phenomenal. If you're looking for an incredible daily driver that's also an absolute riot to drive, this is one of the best options out there. And if you need an SUV, I think this is the best option of something that has that form of practicality, but will put a smile on your face. Honestly, leaving this review, oh, poor squirrel in the road. Leaving this review, I actually really want one of these things. I don't want to give it back. And speaking of give it back, I gotta give a huge shout out to Alpha One Motors in Austin, Texas for making this video possible. I've got a link in the description below to their inventory as well as their Instagram. This car's for sale there now. They actually have a very, very cool inventory of both luxury cars and exotic cars. They've got a beautiful green 675 LT, a Pista, a whole bunch of luxury SUVs and sedans and other supercars. It's a pretty cool spot, and a bunch of really friendly people. All right, one last pull, and then let's end this review. Here we go. That is just awesome. All right, guys, I look forward to seeing you next video.